Hello everyone, welcome to our very first demo for the data engineering with Google Cloud Platform. I hope you guys are able to hear me clearly. Can you guys confirm once? Am I audible?
Yes, yes, clearly.
Great, great. Thanks for your positive response. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thanks for confirming for that. So, today is our very first demo. I hope you guys are excited to understand what is data engineering and what is Google Cloud Platform and what are the topics that we are going to cover throughout the session and how this is going to be useful for you to get the job. Everything we are going to understand today, and this session is more of an interactive and live session, guys. At any point of time, if you think that you have a question, you can always raise your hand. We will follow a proper ethic that you raise your hand so that I'll try to give you a time for you to ask the question. Okay, so let us follow that procedure. And I welcome you all for the very first demo today with the data engineering with the Google Cloud Platform, everyone. We all know that there is a plenty of opportunities for the GCP data engineers. Their main aim is to get the opportunity and work comfortably in the company. The main aim of the course is that one only, that we can easily crack the job. We should be able to comfortably work. So for that one, whatever the things that are required for us to learn, we are going to see all the things one by one in today's session. Right? So the very first thing that I wanted to talk about is the agenda. Right? So what is the agenda for today? What we are going to cover, if you guys ask me, as our first demo, I just wanted to tell you what is actually the data engineering. I can directly tell you how this many opportunities, that many opportunities, and I can tell you that this topic is very important and all of those things. But let me very start with the basic. What is data engineering? And why the data engineering is very much important for other roles, and what are the roles and responsibilities of a data engineer. Maybe in 10-15 minutes we will try to understand what is data engineering, and after that I will talk about what is Google Cloud Platform and how it is different from the other cloud platforms. All of those things we will try to see. Okay, so we will understand the very first thing, what is data engineering. Then we will understand what is Google Cloud Platform, how the Google Cloud Platform is separate from the other cloud platforms, how it is different from them, and what are the advantages of using the Google Cloud Platform. We will try to understand. Then the most awaited topic, that is the detailed course curriculum. Many people maybe ask me, sir, what are the topics that we are going to cover when it comes to the cloud basics or when it comes to the data engineering? What type of a tools that we are going to cover? We are going to see now. So for that one, a detailed course curriculum, I am going to talk about it. And fourth topic I am going to cover is the course details. Right? Some people may be having some questions, sir. When is the batch getting started? What are the timings for it? And what are the things that you're going to provide it to us? All of those things when it comes to the course highlights, I am going to talk about it here. So we have divided our entire session today into four topics. First thing is about what is data engineering. Then we will talk about the Google Cloud Platform. Then we will see the detailed course curriculum, and then we will talk about the course details. So this is what is we are going to cover. And some people may be having some of the questions, right? Right. So for example, sir, one of the question could be, how would I get a job from this course? Right, sir. We are learning this course, how to get a job. I will answer that question. And what about my current experience? Some people may be having their current experience in the mechanical domain, or in a supporting domain, or maybe in some management role, or maybe in a different supporting roles. You will be having it, a tester role or supporting role, or maybe in the non-IT sectors. What I have to do for my current experience, and how do I use this particular course to get the job? And some of the people does not know cloud at all. Sir, how can I learn this cloud platform? That I am going to talk about it. Will I be able to do it, sir? I do not have any experience at all into the IT. But sir, can I be able to get the job and work comfortably? Some people may be having that question. I'll talk about that as well. And does it make sense to my profile or not? Some people think that, sir, I may be working in this area. I just wanted to come to a data engineering. Does it make sense to my profile or not. We will talk about that as well, right? We will talk about that. Yes. Right. We will talk about that. Yes. A factor on the data engineering as well. How we can able to do that. We will talk about that. And many more questions. Whatever you have it, I'm gonna give you the time. Don't worry about it. These are the some of the questions that people usually have in their mind. By the end of the session, I'm telling you guys, you are going to understand each and everything, and we are going to help you understand everything in a simple way so that you guys can understand most of the things out of this course. Okay. And if you guys have any personal questions related to your education or maybe your job background or maybe something, right, so I'll give you the time. By the end of the session, we will sit and we will try to understand whatever the things that you have, and I'll try to explain it. This, as I told you, that first 30 to 40 minutes of a session, I'm going to talk about the course and details and what is this one, what is that one. And after that, I will give you the time for you to ask the questions. So we will make it more interactive today so that everyone will get something out of the course or something out of the demo session. Okay. So that is what. So to do not wasting our time on this particular thing, before we jump onto our actual thing, right, before we jump onto our actual what is the actual topic, that is what is data engineering, let me actually introduce myself, guys. Some of people might have known about me, but let me try to tell you guys, my name is Sheikh Saidhul. I am currently working as a SDA at Quantech as a full time. I'm also a consultant at Databricks, right? So full time as well as consultant at Databricks, and I've completed my master's degree from NIT Trichy. So this is top 10 colleges in India, and I do have more than 8 years of experience into the data and AI field. So from the last 8 years, right, I would say 9 years closely, in data and AI field, working on different tech stack. Even I have worked on premises and clouds, almost all the cloud platforms, AWS, Azure, IBM, GCP, all of these cloud platforms I have worked, and even on the Oracle also. And I have done many certifications in the cloud platforms as well, and in other like Python, Terraform, and other certifications also have done it. So these many certifications, and this is all about me, guys. Just remember me as a Sheikh Saidul. So I am the trainer for GCP data engineering. I have been teaching this GCP data engineering from last 2 years, and earlier I was teaching the Azure. Now mostly I'm currently teaching in the Azure, sorry, GCP data engineering only, and this is all about me, guys. Okay. So now let us start with what is data engineering. Tell me, guys, whatever you know about data engineering, what do you think about data engineering? What is data engineering? Tell me. Any answers? Anyone having it? Please. What do you think that what is data engineering? Okay. Streamlining the data. Yes. Any other answers? Perfect. What is data engineering, guys?
Collecting the data from different sources and process it and store it in database.
Correct. Correct. You may be collecting the data, you may be processing the data, someone says analytics, and all of these answers are correct. And let me gonna tell you in a proper way, and we will try to put them in a proper order so that we will it does make sense to all of them, right? So the main agenda is that is, so every company will be having a data, right, sir? Every company will have a data. So for example, the moment you wake up in the morning, we try to order a breakfast, or we wanted to go from one location to another location. So what do? You try to open one application, whether it is Uber or Swiggy or anything. You try to interact with an application, there gets the data generated. So that means you have a data that is coming from some application. You have a data that is coming some file format. You go to some healthcare or a production or anywhere. What do? What they actually do? They store the data in the form of a Excel or a CSV or a flat files. They store the data in the form of that. So you have a data that is coming in the form of a file format. It could be a CSV file or a JSON file or a Avro file or a Parquet file. So you have a data that is coming from the file formats. And also you have a data that is stored in the form of a database. Some of the companies may store the data in the form of a database, or nowadays These IoT devices become very famous. Sensor devices, we call it as. Every car, every device nowadays comes up with a sensor devices. What is this sensor devices will do? They sense something and they store the data. Right? You have a data that is coming from these IoT devices also, or a sensor devices also. Sir, I have a data that is coming from an application. I have a data that is coming from some file format. I have a data that is coming from some database. It could be a MySQL, PostgreSQL, or a SQL server. I have a data that is coming from some IoT devices. So there is a huge amount of a data that we are getting it from here. All right. Now tell me, guys, what is the important thing for every business? What is the main goal of every business? The main aim of every business is that they want it to grow. Right, sir? Every business, every company, they wanted to improve their business. So, if you wanted to improve their business, the main aim of the thing is for every business, if you take Flipkart, if you take Amazon, if you take any retailer companies, any healthcare companies, any business, the main important thing is that they wanted to improve their business. If they wanted to improve their business, the very, very important thing is that whatever the data that your business is all about, you try to understand the data. You try to understand the data. And when you try to understand the data, so you have a data that is coming from these multiple data sources, right? The very first thing that you do is that you try to understand your data. In a proper terminology, if I say, understanding is nothing but analyzing the data. You try to analyze the data. The moment you try to analyze the data about your business, you get some kind of insights. You get some kind of insights. Sir, what is mean by insight? Some kind of information, a metrics information. This information is very useful for you to improve the business. Okay, so this is the main agenda for data engineering. So you have a data that is coming from multiple data sources. If you wanted to improve your business, if you wanted to increase your sales, if you wanted to increase your customer count, if you wanted to understand your customer behavior, whatever the things that you wanted to do it, you must understand the business. If you wanted to be staying in competitive, or if you wanted to be leader in the market for the competitive world, you have to understand the business. You have to understand the business or analyze your data. If you try to understand your data, that's where it gives you some kind of a insights, and these insights are very, very useful for your company to improve your business. Right? So these insights are useful for the business decision makers to improve their business. So this is what is data engineering. So in a simple words, data engineering is nothing but this process, guys. Right? So you have to get the data from these multiple data sources. You have to analyze the data. You have to get some kind of insights from the data, and that insights are very useful for the business improvement. That insights are very useful for the business improvement. So this is what is high level. Sir, can you tell me in a data engineering terminology? Sir, can you tell me in a data engineering terminology, if you ask me, so now, sir, you have a data that is coming from multiple data sources. You have to get the data and store it into a one single layer called data lake. Right? So if I wanted to analyze the data, see, the main important thing is that you have to improve the business. To improve the business, you have to get some kind of insights. To get the insights, you have to analyze the data. If you wanted to analyze the data, you have to have the data in a single layer. Sir, I get the data from the applications and store it in layer. I have a data that is coming from files, databases. So I extract the data from these multiple data sources. I extract the data from these multiple data sources and store into a one single layer called data lake. Store it into a one single layer called data lake. I first store the data because the data in the application may be coming from some server or some different locations or different servers. So that is the reason we try to extract the data from these multiple data sources and we store it. Sir, once we have the data from these raw data sources, can I directly go for the analysis? Tell me, guys. Can we directly go for the analysis on top of this data? Because now I have the data here. Now I have the data in the data lake. Can we directly go for the analysis? Can anyone comment on that? Why not? Very good. Very good. Sir, most of the people were able to answer that. Says, sir, this is raw data. This data may have some kind of a issues because this is a raw data, sir. It may have duplicates. Sir, it may have null values. Sir, it may have unnecessary data. Sir, it may have some bad records. Sir, it may have some unnecessary columns. So this raw data may have a plenty of the problems or plenty of unnecessary things. Right, sir. If you wanted to analyze the data, what you need to do, sir? You need to properly clean the data. You need to properly transform the data, or you need to properly add some kind of a value to your data. You need to add some kind of a value to your data. So that is the reason we go for data processing. We go for data processing. In a data processing, we properly clean the data so that the data is ready for the analysis. So that the data is ready for the analysis. Then once the data is properly cleaned, with the help of, there are plenty of frameworks are available for processing the data. We will see in next few minutes, but try to understand that here we are getting the data from this one and processing it or cleaning it or adding some kind of a value to our data. Once the processing is done, that's where we are going for a analysis. We move this data to the data warehouses. Sir, most of the times the data is analyzed in the warehouses with a simple language called SQL. So here in the data warehouses, either it could be any of the warehouse, it could be Hive, it could be Snowflake, it could be BigQuery, or it could be Redshift. So you have a plenty of data warehouse tools are there where one can able to analyze the data with a simple language called SQL. Once the data is properly analyzed, the data is stored in the form of a tables. So once the data is processed properly, you send the data to the data warehouses. Once the data is processed properly, right? So now your data is cleaned. Now your data is cleaned. So once your data is cleaned, you can move the data to the data warehouse where you can store it and analyze it. Where you can store it and analyze it with the help of a single simple language called SQL. Once you have done some kind of analysis and the data is stored in the form of a table, now your data, whatever the report, the analysis report that you have created is in the form of a table. So this data can be used by the BI for creating the dashboards. These analysis reports can be used for ML for creating the ML models. Or this data will be used by the data scientist for finding the future trends. Or this data may be used by the business groups for decision making purpose. So this is where you try to analyze the data in the data warehouse. Those reports are sent to the BI for reporting and dashboarding purpose, or ML model creation purpose, or data scientist for finding the future trends, or a business group for taking a decision on top of this data. So this is what is. So this is where we call it as a downstream. So this is where we call it as a downstream. So you have a data source. You get the data from the multiple data sources. You store it, process it, analyze it, and send it to the downstream for further usage purpose. And not only that, we as a data engineer don't want it to do any of these process manually. We wanted to automate it and orchestrate it, and we are going to create some kind of a data pipelines also. This arrow marks, whatever you see, right, it is indicating that this is not done manually. It is an entire automated process. So everything from here to here, here to here, it is a automated data pipelines that we are going to create it. And we also ensure that the entire processing activity whenever the data is moving from one platform to another platform, we will also ensure that the data is governed. That is nothing but it is accurate and complete and properly monitored. So when it comes to the data access and data control, data audit, data accuracy, all of these things are properly taken care in the data governance and monitoring. So that is also one of few of the data engineers will work on that, making sure that your data is accurate and complete throughout the entire platform. Because whatever the data that we're getting from the data source, the amount of a data you can load it, because see, as a data engineer, I can get the data and process it and send it, but it doesn't mean that you have done your process properly. You need to ensure that whatever the process you have followed, whatever the processing you have done, it is legit, it is accurate. So that is where properly taken care in the data governance, right? So data governance and monitoring is very important step. So this is what is
Do
data
you have
engineering.
do you have the special tools for data governance and
We'll see
monitoring?
that. We will talk about that. Okay. Yeah, we will talk about what are the tools for each and everything. Okay. We will talk about what are the tools for each and everything for data lake, data processing, data warehousing, governance, and everything. Okay. Now, whole and soul try to understand what is data engineering. Okay. And a whole and soul as a data engineer, you have a data that is coming from these sources. You are storing it in a single layer or a landing layer, we usually call it as. You're processing it and you are analyzing it. You are analyzing it, sending it to the downstream. You are also making sure that it is accurate and governance. So this is entire processing is called as a data engineering. As a definition, if you guys wanted to see, data engineering is a process of collecting, organizing, and preparing large amounts of the data so that it can be easily used and analyzed. Okay, so that what it may involve different systems, it may involve different pipeline creations, it may involve some kind of infrastructure to be created. So whatever the things that you wanted to do it, whether to automate the entire process, we may be creating the system infrastructure for data to be captured, stored, processed, and accessed efficiently. So that is what is comes under the data engineering. Okay, so this is all about data engineering, guys. But what is this data engineer do? Sir, what is the role of a data engineer, if you ask me? Right? So now you understand on a high level what is data engineering. You understand that this is what is data engineering, and these many steps are there in the data engineering. Now we will see what is the role of a data engineer. A data engineer must and should work on data ingestion. A data ingestion is nothing but data collection, data extraction from the multiple data sources. Sir, I have 50 data sources where the data is coming from. A data engineer, one or two data engineer must focus on the data ingestion to get the data from these multiple data sources and ingest it into the data lakes. So that is data ingestion. And one data engineer must and should focus on how to store the data and how to access the data efficiently. Okay, data storage and access management, right? So you must store the data in a proper scalable system and process it and properly access it for each and every user. That is one data engineer must to take care of that. And one more data engineer or two more data engineers, two data engineers should work on data processing, which is one of the very important activity. Data processing is can be done by multiple frameworks. So one data engineer or two or three data engineers should focus on the data processing, how to process the data, clean the data, transform the data using the Spark or Beam or different frameworks. We can use it. And similarly, there is a data quality and governance. We need to make sure that the data is accurate and complete throughout the process. It is accurate and complete throughout the process. And also, and to make your process automated, we are going to create the data pipelines. So we are going to create the data pipelines, because the data pipelines are very much important for us. As a data engineer, we must create the data pipeline. So one of the data engineer may create the data pipelines also. And one of the important aspect for every project, every pipeline, every code is performance optimization, nothing but your code or a tool or a pipeline should be working in an optimized fashion. So making sure that it is working in an optimized fashion, if it is not, you have to take care of the performance optimization, which we are going to see in our upcoming session, which is very, very important topic. And then one of the data engineers should be focusing on monitoring and maintenance. Okay, so multiple data engineers work on these multiple activities day by day. On a daily basis, one will work on data ingestion, one will work on storage, one will work on processing, one will work on quality, one will work on creating the pipelines, one will focus on the performance optimization, one will find out the maintenance and monitoring. So this many data engineers in a project, they work on different activities. If you get a chance to work on all of these areas, you are lucky, but most of the times it will never happen. We're not going into the very detail, okay? So I'm telling you high level quality of the data. Quality of the yes, yes. Okay. So we will so I'll give you the time, guys. I'll give you the time. So on a high level, we are going to focus on each and every topic, each and everything in a very, very detail. However, I am talking now, we are going to see, we are going to understand, and we are going to find out and how to do that. In our upcoming sessions, we are going to see. Okay. On a high level, what is data engineering? What is the role of a data engineer? Okay. That is what we are seeing here. Okay. Yes. So data ingestion, quality is nothing but ensuring your data is accurate or not, right? When you are moving the data from one platform to another platform, making sure that your data is accurate, making sure that it is complete, nothing but 100 records moved from here to here, or 100 records are moved or not, or inside that 100 records the records are same or not. So that is making sure that is comes under the data quality. So all of these things will be worked by the multiple data engineers in the company, guys. So that is how, this is what is data engineering, and this is what is role of a data engineer. Okay, so now if anyone have any questions on so far on data engineering, please raise your hand, guys. Anyone have any questions on the data engineering? Please allow me. If you think that this is boring, but some people might have known that this is what is data engineering, this is what is role of a data engineer, and it is recap for you guys. I'm telling you, it is a recap for you. But if you do not know it, it is very important for you to understand. Very, very important, because you are going to become the data engineer. You must understand each and everything, not on a very deep, but on a high level. This is what is this guy do. This is what is I'm going to do in a next in my next role, right? So that's what. Now tell me, guys, if anyone have any question. Yes, Basha. So multiple people are here, guys. I just wanted to let you know. So there are multiple people are here. I'm gonna ask you if you have any question. I will write it up, and we will try to answer it. Okay. So please raise your hand if anyone have any question. Okay. Nazim, I will give you the time. Okay, Nazim, I will give you the time. Please raise your hand. Let's follow the process. Please raise your hand if you have any question, right? Please raise your hand. So you are asking what is data pipeline? Data pipeline is nothing but you will be having some data that is coming from some source. You wanted to transform it. You wanted to clean it for another transformation. You wanted to aggregate it, one more transformation, and you wanted to write it to the a destination sync. So creating such a kind of a end-to-end data flow from source to the destination is nothing but my data pipeline. Okay. So in a simple words, you wanted to get the data, transform it, process it, and whatever the aggregations that you wanted to apply, and finally send it to some other data source. So that is what is. So you making sure that your data pipeline, it is a pipeline, it follows a process. Yeah. So that's what. Yes. I'm gonna, please raise your hand, guys. I see some of the people already raised their hand. I'm gonna call up your name. Sorry for that. Yes. Srishti. Yes, please. Yes. 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 Mhm. So there are when we say a data pipeline, it could be a different pipelines also. See, when we are focusing on it, so as I already told you, as a data engineer, you will be working on this one. So if a data ingestion, you can create a one pipeline. We call it as a data ingestion pipeline, right? Data processing. When you are focusing on data processing, it is a data processing pipeline, right? So that is what is meant by pipelines. So wherever, yeah, we will focus on in our upcoming sessions. We will focus on in our upcoming sessions. But this is at a high level. What is ingestion? What is processing? Is that you have sources, you get the data and load it to your landing. So that is ingestion. So some pipelines are working there. Transforming some pipeline. Yes. Amol, Amol, you have any question? It could be. So the question is that whenever you are processing the data, right? So if you are processing the data, where is this data is stored? Is that the question? Where is this data is stored? It is depending on your requirement, right? So in your company, if you wanted to store it in some database, you may be storing in some database, or you may be storing it in the data warehouse, or you may be storing it in some locations, maybe some kind of a cloud storage locations, or maybe in the form of a files, right? So this is how, when you're processing your data, it is your choice if you wanted to store it on a database or a data warehouse or a files. It is your total choice. Depends on that particular requirement. Okay. Mhm. It depends. Again, I'm telling you, it totally depends on how your entire architecture is focusing on. According to the company's architecture, they follow on a data warehouse or a files. Some people store it on a data lake, or some people directly store it in the data warehouse. Some people just standardizate the process and store it in the GCSR locations, right? It is totally depends. Yeah. Okay. And yes, Kalpataru. Kalpataru, you have any question?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, sir. Actually,
Mhm.
you have shown the last slide that there are seven to
Mhm.
eight, I
Mhm.
can say, modules or components
Correct.
of data engineering. Okay.
Correct.
So suppose some guys have 10 years or for 10 years of experience into some database.
Yes.
I'm telling you my example. Suppose
No, no, no,
I
no,
have
let's not
to
worry
put,
about that.
uh,
Let us stick to this particular topic for data engineering. If you have any question to your role or anything, we will try to tackle it at the end. Okay.
suppose
Mhm.
when I have completed this course, okay,
Mhm.
then company ask me to they'll question me that on these seven topics. So they need some experience. Okay.
Yes, yes. I'll tell you
Uh,
how do you have to tackle it, how do you have to justify your experience after learning this course, right? By the end of this session, I'll for sure tell you. Okay.
and for these seven components,
Hmm.
they might engage me in the all fields or some specific fields. That is my
It
main
depends.
question.
It depends on your it depends on your role, right? It depends
Okay.
on your role where you are getting. For example, sir, the question is that, so if I am getting a job in this particular company,
Uh,
right? So what area I may be getting a job? So
or they will give
I
you
cannot
all
say.
the
Huh.
all the
It depends,
sections.
right? It depends totally. So, for example, they already recruited you for first two activities, or maybe they have recruited you for four, five, maybe for one, three, right? So I cannot tell. But as we as a course, what we are focusing on, we are going to learn each and everything in detail.
Yes, yes, that
Because
I know.
right. So that is making you that if you get any activity, you should be able to work. That is the main aim of the course. The main aim of the course is that not to focus on one area, leave another area. We are going to focus on everything. And you get any activity in your company, when you get a job, you should be able to work comfortably. That's the main aim. Okay. Yeah.
And another question I have, I will ask you later.
Yes. Yes. Any personal questions, we will take it up at the end. Yes, for
Yes,
sure.
yes.
Yes, Ashok. Ashok, any question on the data engineering? What is data engineering, please? Yes. Correct. Correct. It could be anything. I have told you, right? Ashok, I have told you. Huh. Good question. Good question. Sir, Ashok question is that, sir, you told here data sources, application files, databases, and IoT. Sir, is there on-premises tools or cloud tools? So it depends on the company. So some of them, some of the data sources could be on-premises databases. Some of the data sources can be cloud data sources also. For example, you have a cloud database, cloud SQL database, or you have a data that is coming from some cloud storage system, some of the files, Parquet files, or you have some on-premises application is running, or it could be anything. So it is a combination of all cloud plus on premises. Okay. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah, I asked, right, what are the data governance and monitoring tools? Monitoring, I know that. What are the data governance, importance of the data governance in the data engineering?
Data governance is something that, so if I have to tell you what is data governance, as I told you just now, you have to make sure that who is accessing your data. You have to make sure that you have to, whatever the data that is moving from one platform to another platform is accurate and complete, and make sure that it is auditable, compliance ready. So all of these things comes under the data engineering, but may not be very important for those people who are comes under less than 7 years of experience. Very important for those people for a higher roles like 7 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, the main focus on the data governance. Okay. So that's all.
Yeah, what are the tools will be there?
There are many tools are there. For example, data catalog is there. If you go to the database, you have a unity catalog is there. If you go to the AWS, you have a glue. Plenty of the tools are there when it comes to the data governance.
But
Dataplex is also there.
specific GCP, right?
Data catalog,
Specifically
I've told
GCP
you, right?
data?
Catalog.
Oh, data catalog. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Okay, guys. So
But
without any further ado,
same time, and one more thing, but at the same time, they are asking for the multi data engineering roles, right? For AWS and Azure.
mhm,
Is it possible on that we can replicate on that same way in the GCP, how it is there, the same
we
applicable
will
for
see that.
AWS and Azure also, the same thing?
Yes, yes, of course, right? Yeah, but in this particular course, we are focusing on the GCP. But in the companies, they may expect a different things. But most of the times, currently, they are expecting a one single cloud platform. Yes, there is a plenty of opportunities for GCP itself. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So as we now know that what is data engineering, guys. So let me just focus on what is Google Cloud Platform. What is Google Cloud Platform? I think you might have known other cloud platforms. Tell me, guys, what are the other cloud platforms that you guys know? Yeah, you guys know about Azure. You guys know AWS. Any other cloud platforms that you guys know? IBM. Yes, IBM. Any other? Oracle. So these are the different cloud platforms. Even few more also there, right? So these are the different cloud platforms are available over the market. So what is the cloud platforms providing us, if you ask me? So cloud platforms mainly provide you the cloud computing services, the main importance of these things, right? So you can think like a different varieties of the chocolates. The main aim of each chocolate is to give you a proper taste, and these are coming from different brands. If I just name it, some of the chocolates, like you have a dairy milk, you have a Kit Kat, you have a Milky Bar. The same thing for the cloud platforms also. You have a GCP, Azure, AWS, IBM. These are all comes under the same category. They are the cloud providers. They are the cloud providers. Tell me, guys, so if it is a cloud provider, that means they are providing something. What they actually provide us? Tell me, guys. So these are all cloud providers are well and good. Tell me what they actually provide us.
Basically, they provide us some space to store some
Correct.
data or some information.
Very good answers. Very good answers. In a simple words, some says infrastructure, some says services, some all of these things are correct. In a simple words, if I have to talk about, they provide you the cloud computing services. Cloud computing services. So Cloud providers like AWS, Azure, GCP, IBM, Oracle, Alibaba, someone is mentioning. These are all cloud providers. They provide you the cloud computing services. What they provide us, sir? The cloud computing services. Now tell me, sir, what is the advantage of these cloud computing services? What is the advantage? Correct. So the thing is that, so when you are at simple example, if I have to take it, for example, sir, I have to store some data. Assume that, sir, my client have given me some 100 terabytes of the data. I am working for some client and they have given me some 100 terabytes of the data. They're asking me to store the data. Tell me, guys, if you do not have a cloud platform, how do you store it? Do not have a cloud platform. If you do not have a cloud platform, how do you store it? Just think about it. 100 terabytes of the data, you will be able to store it on a local machine. So how do we store some 100 terabytes of the data? If I give you 1 GB, 2 GB, you'll be able to store it. Okay, how do you store some 100 terabytes of the data? Right? So it's not possible. It is not, I mean to say it is not impossible. It is not impossible. So if you wanted to store 100 terabytes of the data, you have to buy some or purchase some machines. Sir, I will purchase some machines. Machine 1, machine 2, machine 3. Multiple machines I will purchase. I'll go to the vendor. I'll purchase multiple machines. And I will connect it together. On top of these machines, I will install the operating system. First, I have to purchase the machines. And then I have to install the OS on top of it, operating system. On top of these machines, we have to do the networking. We should also assign the storage, configure the backups, and even more things, maybe taking care of the maintenance activities and all the management details also you have to take care of it. So if you guys wanted to store some 100 terabytes of the data, the very first thing that you have to do is that you have to purchase. You can't just directly go and store it. Even though if I give you 1 GB also, if you have a machine, that is nothing but sometime back you might have purchased that machine, your laptop. So if you do not have a laptop, you have to first purchase it. You install the operating on top of it. You networking, you assign storage, backups, maintenance, and management, all the things you take care of it. Once you take care of all of these things, then you will think about storing this data. Then you will think about storing this 100 terabytes of the data here. So if I wanted to store some 100 terabytes of the data, I have to take care of all of these things. Now tell me how much time it could take. Guess this, guys. How much time it could take? Not for you if I give you money. For the companies. Think about the company's perspective. While multiple people working behind the scene on a different activities, how much time it would take? Can I take 1 or 2 months? Right? So for just storing some 100 GB, or maybe tomorrow you wanted to process it or analyze it, for just doing this activity, companies will take 1 to 2 months for setting up everything, because purchasing the machines itself, it will take a lot of time for you. Purchasing the machines itself, it will take a lot of time. You have to deliver it to your data center. They have to install it. So all of these things will take at least 1 to 2 months. So this kind of a process, if you follow, then that process we call it as an on-premises working model. So if you are working in this particular culture, sir, in a culture where you take care of everything on your own, where you take care of your everything when it comes to the storage, processing, or analyzing, if your company taking care of all of these activities on their own, that company is following a on-premises working culture. That particular company following a on-premises working culture, which is taking a lot of time. So that's where people were looking for an alternative solutions. That's where cloud came into the picture. Now tell me, guys, according to your knowledge, maybe basic knowledge on the cloud, how much time this would take for you to store it in the cloud? Anyone can guess it? How much time it could take? Maybe few hours, maybe for 1 or 2 minutes, or maybe even though if I just mention it, my DevOps engineer or anything, I can just set it up in 1 day. Hardly I take if I just do. I can just take few minutes, or I can do it in a few minutes, few seconds also. But hardly if I take 1 day. So now tell me the difference you see here, guys. So this is what is the reason that every company nowadays moving towards a cloud platform. Such kind of a cloud platforms are these: GCP, Azure, AWS, and IBM and Oracle. And these are the cloud providers. As we now just seen that if I wanted to store some data, I need to find some kind of a service here. So if I wanted to store some 100 terabytes of the data, I need to find a service. That service I am calling it as a cloud computing service. That particular service, I'm calling it as a cloud computing service, that is offered by the cloud providers. So the cloud providers providing you the cloud computing services, and these services are very useful for your project fulfillment purpose. Project, any project you take, project fulfillment, any project you take. Sir, if my project is about storing the data or processing the data or transforming the data or analyze the data or visualize the data, anything, if your project is all about data engineering, so if you wanted to fulfill that particular project, whether it is for storing, processing, analyzing, or visualizing, you have a dedicated services available. Those services I am calling it as a cloud computing services. You have a dedicated services available not only for data engineering. You go for ML model building or ML model deployment, ML model registering, ML model register, whatever you do, you have a dedicated services available are provided by the cloud computing services. Or not only for that, if you are an application developer, you can build your code build, code deployment, code source code management tools. So all of these things, again, you have a dedicated services for doing that. So those services I'm calling it as a cloud computing services. So these, you need separate services for doing that. Such kind of a services is provided by the cloud computing cloud providers, and such a kind of a services we call it as a cloud computing services. So the main aim of the cloud computing services are the cloud providers is that they wanted to fulfill the project requirements for every company. Sir, take any company for example. I take any company. In every company, you will be having projects. The main aim of the project is to fulfill the project requirement. So if you wanted to fulfill it, there are two things required. One is manpower, that is nothing but you. One more is infra power, nothing but these services. Manpower is nothing but you, developers. And infra power is nothing but these cloud computing services. So manpower, the company project requirement, they recruit the people. But for infra power, they go for the cloud platforms and they look for a separate service for their own requirement. So such a kind of a cloud providers, I call it as a GCP, Azure, and AWS, IBM, and Oracle. One of the nowadays one of the famous and which is providing you a plenty of opportunities, that is GCP, nothing but Google Cloud Platform. And in our entire course, we are going to focus on the GCP, which is one of the leading cloud providers, top 3 leading cloud providers, which provides you the cloud computing services. Now the definition is very simple. We look at here. So Google Cloud Platform is one of the leading cloud provider, which provides you the cloud computing services, which are required for you to store the data, process the data, analyze the data, or build your application, scale your application, or deploy your application and management. So this is what is GCP. GCP is one of the leading cloud provider offered by the Google, which is providing you a plenty of cloud computing services for your organization for project fulfillment, whether it is data engineering projects, whether it is application building projects, whether it is ML projects, or whether it is networking projects, whether it is any project. They provide you a separate set of services. Those services I am calling it as a cloud computing services. Such a kind of a tool is Google Cloud Platform, sir. You guys can see That is what it is. So GCP is a suite of cloud computing services offered by the Google that offers wide range of products and solutions to help the organization build, deploy, and scale the applications and services in the cloud. It is offering plenty of the services. Or can you name few of the services? Here it is a full list of, not full list, maybe high level list of a service portfolio. And so it provides you the compute services. GCP offering compute services. GCP offering identity and security services. GCP offering management tools, networking services, big data services, storage and database services, machine learning services. In our course, we wanted to become a GCP data engineer. We are focusing on the data roles, data engineering roles. So that's the reason we are going to focus on the big data and storage and database services, right? So this is where we are mainly focusing on. So such that some people may be having a question, I'll try to clear that out. Maybe people having a questions are why GCP only, why not Azure and AWS? I'll talk about that. Give me some time. I'll talk about that. But try to understand what is GCP. Google Cloud Platform is one of the leading cloud provider, which provides you the cloud computing services to help the organizations to build the application, deploy the application, scale the applications and services in the cloud. So that is what is Google Cloud Platform, everyone. And the same definition, if I talk about Azure, I just have to replace the GCP with Azure. Azure is also one of the leading cloud provider, which provides you the cloud computing services. The definition follows the same thing. But what are the offerings for each cloud providers is different. And the way that they provide is different. The cost is different. And we will see that those differences and we will try to understand that later. Okay. And sir, if you ask me why learn GCP, why we learn GCP? Sir, Google has a very good community support. Google has a very good community support because Google is not new to us. Maybe GCP, Google Cloud Platform, may be new to us, but Google is not new. We've been using the Google search, we've been using the YouTube, we've been using the Google Analytics, Google Drive, Google Photos, Google, everything we've been using it already. It has a very, very good community support, right? And when you have a community support, always there is a new advancements in that particular tools. And one more thing, Google Cloud Platform is also come from the Google. So that's the reason the community is keep on increasing. And one more thing for the Google is that it is providing the cost effective services comparatively. If I compare one of the service for the Azure, AWS, GCP, sir, which is cost effective? Sir, here it could be $90. Here it could be $100 for the same service. Here it could be $70 to $80 only. You see, out of all the same requirement, same service, same storage, the cost of the GCP would be lesser. So cost effective solution with the same availability, with the same scalability, with same flexibility. So you get all the features similar to the other cloud platforms like flexibility, scalability, reliability, secure, and fully managed services also. The interface is very simple and easy to use. I'll show you the interface as well. It is very simple compared to the Azure and AWS and very easy to use. And such a kind of a property, such a kind of a features, it is providing you at a lesser cost. So that's the reason most of the companies started using the Google Cloud Platform. The main reason why they are started using the GCP is that it providing you all of these features with a lesser cost. That's the reason most of the companies started using the GCP. And when it comes to the data engineering, the offerings are more. The number of services for the data engineering is more for each and every requirement. So that's the reason, again, Google Cloud Platform is very favors for the data engineering projects. Okay, so that is something. And one more thing, even you can look at the growth rate also. The growth rate, if you look at from the last quarter, if you look at here, the growth rate for the AWS, Azure, and GCP, the growth rate for the GCP is increasing. That is nothing but the number of companies from last year to this year, last quarter to this quarter, the number of companies started using the GCP is more. So that's the reason there's a number of opportunities are there, huge number of opportunities. And that's what is all about the Google Cloud Platform, guys. That is all about the Google Cloud Platform. Okay. Yes. I think some people may be having some questions on the Google Cloud platform, but if I start giving you the time to you, you may be asking a lot of questions. If you give me 10 more minutes, I'll talk about the course curriculum. Then I'll give you the time for you so that you can ask as number of questions as. Let me just tell you the course curriculum. Is that okay, guys? Can I do that?
Yes, yes, no problem.
Right. So let's focus on the course curriculum, because so some people may be asking some questions, are we covering this topic, are we covering that topic, right? So if I just tell you the course curriculum, then it would be become very easy and what we are covering, and you can ask questions on that also, right? So let's focus on that. Maybe what I have done actually in this course, I think I've told you, right? So I've been teaching this course from the last close to 2 years, I would say. Close to 2 years I've been teaching. Almost some 1200 plus students we have taught in my 60 plus, 40 plus, 50 plus batches, I guess. 50 plus batches, I guess. Close to 60 batches, I don't remember exactly. But last 2 years, 50 plus batches we ran. And every quarter, every half year, I used to change the syllabus according to the market. And finally, today we are going to look at a very full-fledged course syllabus or a course curriculum. I have actually divided this entire course curriculum into two topics. The entire GCP data engineering course curriculum divided into two topics. One is GCP basics, nothing but cloud basics. GCP cloud basics. The second one is data engineering tools. GCP data engineering tools. GCP data engineering tools. So these are the things that we are going to. First, I am going to cover in my course. First, I will start with this one, GCP Cloud Basics. Then we will enter into the data engineering. Sir, what are the topics that we are going to cover in the Cloud Basics? What are the topics that we are going to cover in the data engineering? Let me show you now. Data engineering, Cloud Basics. First thing, we are going to see the cloud overview. Tomorrow is the topic that is why we need the cloud platform and what is the difference between the on-premises versus cloud. With a real world example, I'm going to tell you what is this on-premises working culture and why is see, you don't have to understand on-premises working culture, but what I want you guys to understand is that if you wanted to appreciate the cloud, how the advancement of the cloud happened, if you wanted to appreciate the cloud, you need to understand the challenges that people faced on the on-premises. So let me tell you what was on-premises working culture in the very first topic tomorrow and how the cloud came into the picture. Then what is Google Cloud Platform introduction? Again, I'll tell you tomorrow why we learn GCP, how many different opportunities and certifications it is offering. Then the actual topic starts, that is GCP interfaces. In GCP interfaces, we are going to see the console, Cloud Shell, the Cloud SDK. And what is console, Cloud Shell, and SDK, and how do we interact with the different GCP services via these three methods? And what is console walkthrough? And this is something that I would like to focus on, that is free account creation. Sir, as we are focusing on the GCP, sir, how do we practice? How do we create pipelines? How do we, process the data, transform the data? All of those things, where do we do it, sir? If you ask me, I am going to tell you how to create a free tier account. In my third or fourth session, I will tell you how to create a free tier account, so that all the practices, assignments, pipelines, projects, use cases, case studies, everything we are going to do it here. Assignments, examples, practice, use cases, case studies, everything we are going to do it on a free trial account. This free trial account is worth of $300 for next 90 days validity. So you have a 3 months validity for this one, guys. If you guys wanted to have one more account, you can create one more account. You will get one more 90 days of validity with some other details. I'll show you how to do that. So I'm going to tell you how to create a free tier account, which is worth of $300 for next 90 days. And all the practice, everything we are going to do it on the Google Cloud platform only. So you don't need to have any separate configuration. Just have a decent laptop with a decent network, nothing but Wi-Fi or something. That's it. Rest of the things we are going to do it on a Google Cloud platform only. So don't worry about that. Okay. And the next thing, project. What is a project? How do we set up? Enabling and billing. What is billing? How do we manage the billing and APIs? GCP locations, regions, zones, selection criteria, and importance. Admin. So for access control, you have to learn about IAM and admin, identities, roles, policy, resource hierarchy. For the first time, someone sees this one, they think that this is something that unknown to them. But by the end of the course, you are going to understand each and every topic. You will understand that very, very important for you to learn. Very important, because for the first time, if I look at it also, for the first time when I started learning also, what is region, why we need to learn it, what is this policy, what is resource hierarchy. But telling you guys, these are very simple topics. Everyone must understand, not only the GCP data engineer. If you wanted to become a GCP cloud engineer, GCP developer, GCP DevOps engineer, GCP machine learning engineer, everyone must learn these cloud basics. Very, very important. The moment you learn this cloud basics, I mentioned cloud basics, you see. Why did I mention cloud basics? Because these basics are same throughout all the cloud platforms. Even if you started learning about the Azure, the nomenclature could be different, but the most of the concepts are same. So you don't have to learn a separate again. So the moment you learn one cloud platform, it is easy for you to familiarize with the words. The terminology is different, the concepts are same. So that's the reason I stated it as a cloud basics. Okay, so these basics are very much important. We spend 8 days here, 8 hours learning all of these things. 7 to 8 hours we spend here to understand each and everything. Then we enter into the data engineering tools, right? So then we enter into the data engineering tools. Now tell me guys, how many types of a data is categorized into how many different types? Anyone? Correct. There are 3 types. One is unstructured, semi-structured, and structured. Just now we were talking about why the GCP cloud computing services, because it is mainly to fulfill your projects. That is nothing but, sir, if I have a unstructured data, can I be able to, if I wanted to store it, there has to be a separate offering from the GCP. That is nothing but GCS, right? So if you wanted to take care of unstructured data, you can go and learn GCS. We are going to see. For semi-structured data, to do that, you have a big table. And for structured OLTP, we have a big Cloud SQL. Structured OLAP, we have a BigQuery. Don't worry about OLTP and OLAP. This one is transactional system, one more is analytical system. We will understand it in very depth with an example in our upcoming sessions when we start learning about the data engineering. Okay, so data is categorized into 3 ways. One is structured, semi-structured, unstructured. Unstructured data can be stored in the GCS. Semi-structured data can be stored in the big table. Structured OLTP data, nothing but transactional data in the Cloud SQL, analytical data in the BigQuery. So this is, if you look at this category, the main thing that we are focusing on storing the data. So these are the storage and database services. The first category is that these are storage and database services. So if one wanted to store any variety of the data, they can come here and store it. We are going to learn about all of these things. Maybe about big table, we will be learning it less because it is not that much important, but GCS, Cloud SQL, BigQuery, very much important. Then now that you have stored the data, tell me guys, what is the important activity that we have to do? Processing it. That's where you may be creating a different data pipelines for processing. You have a Spark and Hadoop. For processing the data, we have to create a Spark pipelines or a Hadoop pipelines. You have one of the offering in the Google Cloud Platform, one of the service that is Dataproc, where one can able to process the data using the Spark and Python. And one more is you have a Beam pipelines if one wanted to create it. Don't worry about the Beam. Beam is also one of the framework like Spark. And we have one more service, Dataflow. code free. If one wanted to process the data without writing any code, you have a one more service, that is data fusion. And if one wanted to take care of orchestration, workflow orchestration tool, that is a Airflow or a Composer. You have a Airflow or a Composer for orchestrating your pipelines. And recently we have also started Lakehouse architecture, learning about the Databricks. That's our eighth topic, Databricks. So recently I've started this one, that where there are plenty of opportunities for the Databricks roles also. So that's the reason we started teaching about the Databricks, right? So that is also one of the important tool that we must focus on. So here you see, there we were learning about 4, here 5, 6. So maybe I can just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here 5, there 4. 4 plus 5, 9. In addition to that, streaming data processing, PubSub we are covering. And event-based solution, cloud functions. Nowadays they're calling it as a cloud run functions. That is also one more thing. And Terraform is a complementary. That is also covered, but as a video I'm offering you. Very important, not for data engineer, for DevOps, but some knowledge is required. That is on a complementary topic we are providing. 1, 2, 3. So totally 4 plus 5 plus 3. Right? So you can think of 11. Is it 12, right? Yes. So totally 12 services, data engineering services. In addition to that, some people will ask me, sir, some of the companies asking me the Linux basics. I'm covering the Linux basics as a programming. Python for data engineers. We must learn Python as a data engineer. We are offering that. PySpark, I'm going to teach PySpark as well. I'm going to teach Beam also. So these are the programming aspects. We are covering the Linux, Python, PySpark, and Apache Beam. All these things. In addition to the above things, in addition to the cloud basics, 12 data engineering services, 4 programming aspects also we are covering. Excluding the SQL, guys, SQL basic knowledge and the SQL is a prerequisite for the course. Sir, if someone is asking me, sir, what is a prerequisite? I'll talk about this one. If someone is asking me what is the prerequisite for the course, sir, that is SQL. Familiarity, the basic knowledge in the SQL is more than enough for this course. That's the main thing, guys. Okay, so I'm going to show you how our notebook look like. So I'm going to provide you a dedicated material for this one. Everything is properly streamlined. I am going to provide you the access to this one also, maybe later. So I'm just highlighted here on a course content on a high level if you guys wanted to see. So on a high level, because I did not tell you about the projects, right? So this is 9:30 to 10:30, guys. Just think about the timing is we have changed it to 9:30 to 10:30. Some of the people were coming from some offices and everything. So that's the reason. The timing is 9:30 to 10:30 every day. Okay. So this is what, but rest of the things are same. Okay. Just look at here, guys, the cloud basics, the very first service that we are covering. Then the programming concepts. The next topic that we are covering is programming concepts. Linux, Python, PySpark, and Apache Beam. Then data engineering services. We're covering the data engineering services, guys. So all the data engineering, GCS, Cloud SQL, BigQuery, Dataproc, Dataflow, Data Fusion, Airflow, PubSub, Cloud Functions, Databricks, Terraform, Bigtable, everything. And projects, some people may be asking, sir, what are the projects that we are covering, sir? Can you tell me? So here it is, guys. So 2 BigQuery case studies we are covering. 2 case studies on Dataproc. So end-to-end batch pipeline we are going. I'll show you these things also. Don't worry. I'm not just writing up here, not covering. I'm going to show up everything. 2 BigQuery case studies. One is for Spark, one is for Spotify, and one more is for social media. And 2 case studies and 1 end-to-end pipeline. This is nothing but 3 here. 2 case studies plus 1 end-to-end streaming pipeline on the data flow. Nothing but 3 here. 2 plus 3 plus 3. 4 end-to-end DAX in the Airflow. Very, very important for orchestration pipelines. Here 4. 2 case studies. One is for the streaming, one more is for the autoloader, one end-to-end workflow in the Databricks. So all of these things, 10 plus case studies plus end-to-end pipelines that we are going to cover here. Okay, so let me gonna show you here. If you guys wanted to see the entire PDF, I hope you guys already have it. I'll share it later. So maybe I can start it from the cloud basics. So this is a dedicated notes, guys. You have everything here. You don't need to go anywhere. This is a note specifically created by me only. So you'll be having everything in a very detail with my notes. So you have a GCP introduction, GCP interfaces, console walkthrough, locations. I am an admin. Think my mouse cursor is not showing up. So here it is, account admin, installing the SDK, Linux basics. And after that, we enter into the data engineering tools. What is GCS? How do we create buckets and what are the nodes? And using the shell, how do we interact with the Google Cloud Storage? You have an assignment, you have a quiz also. Cloud SQL. What is Cloud SQL? Working with Cloud SQL. Database migration project. So we are going to cover one of the database migration project here. Everything end to end we are going to cover. Database migration method with a manual and DMS method, automated method. And so this is sample data and assignment for you guys. And BigQuery. What is BigQuery? BigQuery's architecture, BigQuery limitations. Working with the BigQuery, BigQuery's hierarchy, different ways of creating the tables in the BigQuery, BigQuery supported data types, table creations. Data set for practice purpose. What is BigQuery's partitioning and clustering and different types of partitioning and clustering. Working with one of the complex topic in the BigQuery, that is nothing but working with array kind of a data. How do we work within the BigQuery? So these are all the things that again we are covering. Nested and repeated fields. How do we work within the BigQuery? Nested and repeated fields also. Assignments for you to practice to make yourself comfortable on the BigQuery. Case study 1, that is Spotify. BigQuery views, BigQuery optimizations. BigQuery case study 2, that is an assignment for you, that is social media case study. So case study 1 and case study 2 in the BigQuery that is covered, and assignments and optimization techniques and complex topics also covered. Yes. And then I'll start telling you about Python. Python, chapter 1 data types, chapter 2 data structures, Python programming constructions, modular programming, strings, numbers, boolean, none, your list, tuple, dictionary set, and if else statements, for loop and while loop, exceptional handling, file input output operations, functions and classes. Everything that we are going to cover as a data engineer. This is specifically designed for data engineers, Python for data engineers. We have a notebook for you to practice also and practice questions. And then we will start with the data proc. This is one of the important thing that we have to learn about. What is Hadoop and why Hadoop came into the picture, when the Spark came into the picture, how it came into the picture, what was the advantages using the Spark over the Hadoop, and what is data proc, how it is different from the Spark, how it is different from the Hadoop and Spark, how do we create the cluster, lab sessions, sample data set practice, case study 1, case study 2. I told you 2 case studies, assignments, assignment 1, assignment 2, assignment 3, end-to-end batch pipeline. I have told you here, that is where it is end-to-end batch pipeline. So the code, so don't worry about the code, sir. Everything is there in the notes. If I just provide you the access, once you enroll for the course, I'll provide you everything here. You have everything here. Okay. Yeah. And the next thing, data flow. What is data flow? How it is different from the data proc? What is Apache Beam? Languages and everything. How do we create a Beam pipeline, and what is P collection? What is P transform? Create a workbench and lab sessions. Sample data sets, use case 1, assignment 1, template method of creating the pipelines, end-to-end streaming pipeline. Again, I told you guys, use case 1, template method is use case 2, and end-to-end streaming pipeline I have told you, right? So this is also there. And PubSub, what is PubSub, and the key concepts and use cases, and end-to-end pipeline with a streaming. In a streaming pipeline, we introduce a PubSub here, you see, because PubSub is a streaming data tool. So that's the topic, PubSub topic is here. And again, Airflow, nothing but a composer. What is workflow orchestration? What is Airflow? The architecture, DAG, create a DAG, cron job format and everything. level 1 DAG for the SQL jobs, level 2 for the PySpark jobs, level 3 for the Beam jobs, level 4 for the parent DAG child assignment for you, that is level 5. Okay, there's an implementing CI/CD, which is one of the video bite guys for you. And this gives you how people actually implement the CI/CD with help of the Cloud Build, GitHub, and Cloud Composer. This is also something that it is a video bite. I'll show you where is the video also later. And data fusion, introduction to the data fusion. And the data fusion is nowadays not used much, so that's the reason we are covering as a video here. And the cloud functions, what is cloud function? Use case 1, assignment, use case 2 as an assignment 2. Use case 1, use case 2 as an assignment 2. Databricks, everything is covered in the Databricks again. So introduction to the Lakehouse, introduction to the Databricks, Unity Catalog, Databricks clusters, notebooks, utilities, Delta Lake, structured streaming with Databricks, autoloader, workflows, DLT, end-to-end project. So everything is covered. If you guys wanted to see here also, Databricks introduction, setting up the Databricks clusters, notebooks, DB utilities commands, data frame and operations, Unity catalog, Delta tables, dataset creations, structured streaming. So you also have a structured streaming, auto loader, and workflows. How do we set up the workflows? Medallion architecture, end-to-end workflows, Delta live tables, and repository link. And what is external locations also we have it. So everything is mentioned here. Everything is mentioned here, guys. So this is a course that where we are ending with the Databricks, guys. So end to end, everything is there. In addition to that, those who wanted to go for the job, the very important aspect is interview, right? So you have I created one of the tab that is interview. Those who wanted to specifically go for the job, right? So there is a resume template for you to create your resume according to this one. Some of the sample resumes who got the job also you have it here. And one more thing, interview introduction. So whatever the introduction that you have to specify, what is the project one explanation that you have to tell in your interview? Architecture for the project one, project two architecture is also there. Project 1 and project 2, however you have to explain in the interview, everything is here. Then there are data engineering theoretical questions for each topic wise, SQL questions for practice purpose and for the interview, Python questions mainly for the interview, PySpark questions for the interview, certification dumps for those who wanted to go for the certification as well. So everything is end to end. This is a full package of the course. Everything is covered end to end. And complementary, I think I have not shown you this one. So there's a complementary end-to-end project 2 is there, which is a video bite. And the complementary Terraform is also there. Okay, so all of these things, everything is there here, guys. You just have to, focus on how do we start it. So whenever I'm teaching something, just follow my lead and practice every day with a proper time. Just put at least 30 minutes every day. If you practice well for next 2.5 months, our course will be anywhere between 2.5 to 3 months. And then within 2.5 months, you should be able to get perfect. And in the next third month or fourth month, you can go for the job and crack it. There are plenty of opportunities are there. The main prerequisite for this course is familiarity with the SQL. And one more thing, the course details. If I have to talk about the course duration, the course duration is 50 hours, nothing but 2.5 to 3 months, anywhere between. Daily timings, we now know the timings is 9:30 to 10:30. Usually my course will be completed at 10:30 because it is a demo session that is getting along, but usually it will be completed daily at 10:30, 9:30 to 10:30. Okay, and the timings daily 1 hour, Monday to Friday. Saturday Sunday no sessions. Saturday Sunday is for assignments, online live interactive sessions only. And we are providing the daily recordings on a daily basis. Comprehensive material will be there, assignments will be there, real-time projects will be there, case studies, interview. I have shown you everything, right? Interview questions, certification dumps, resume assistance, everything is covered. Okay, everything is covered. So with this course, whether you are having, for example, some people may be having a question, sir, how do I convert my experience to get the job? Right, sir, how do I convert? 1 minute, guys. So 1 minute. Deleted. It is not coming. Okay, that's fine. So far, people will be having this question, sir. How do I convert my current experience? For example, you have a 2 years of experience, right? So someone will be having 3 years. Someone will be having 5 years. Someone will be having 7 years. Someone will be having 9 years. Someone will be having 11 years, 13 years, 15 years also. So we have seen people who are joining my question until 15 years maximum. So if you are having 2 years of experience, maybe currently working in any field, sir, you may be working in any field, right? So you may be working in some support background or mechanical background or a production background or a mainframes background or maybe any background you may be working, right? Sir, what you have to do, you have to create your resume in such a way that last 1.5 years I have worked on the GCP. Last 1.5 years I have worked on the GCP, and you have to create your resume and go for the interview. And after you learning my course, if you go for a 1.5 years of a interview, you can easily crack the job. Easily crack it that. Easily, very simply, because everything that is required for you to crack the interview is covered here, no worries at all. Even though you are a 3 years of experience, you put same 1.5 only. Again, you go for the job. Sir, even though if you have 5 years, you put like this one. You put 2 years. You put 2 years. Last 2 years. You create your resume in such a way that last 2 years I have worked on the GCP. Last 2 years I have worked on the GCP. So that's how you create your resume. Last 3 years, last 2 years I worked on the GCP. Then create your resume, go for the interview, because there are plenty of opportunities are there. So you don't have to worry about that. Then, sir, even though you have 7 years, you can even put 2. For 9 years, you can put 2.5. And for 11 years also, you can put 2.5. Or maybe you can put 3 also. No one is stopping. Okay. You can go for maximum 3 and 3.5, sir. Maximum 15 years. If you go for 3.5 also, you can go. Until 3 years, I am going to cover each and everything that is required for you, including all the topics in-depth optimizations also I am going to cover. Okay, so that's where, so this is how you have to cover your experience, whether you are coming from admin role, supporting role, testing role, whatever it is. If I have a 2 years, 1.5, last year 1.5, what about the rest of the experience, guys? Whatever you are doing currently, that is what is your rest of. For example, sir, 5 years, let me take for example, for 5 years this guy was working as a Oracle admin. Sorry, he was working currently Oracle admin last 5 years. What he has to prepare here resume, Oracle admin as a 3 years he worked, plus last 2 years. This is what I mentioned here, last 2 years, right? 2 years on the GCP. You have to put your resume 2 years on the GCP, and you create your resume, go for the interview. We'll see whether you will be able to crack it or not. You will only tell me after that, because plenty of opportunities are there. I've seen plenty of my students already working in a different companies, and they are able to work comfortably. I know that some people have struggled a bit at first month, but later point of time they cope up with the project and they are working comfortably now, earning a lot. Okay, so that's how this is one of the very easy for you to enter into the cloud, guys. If you wanted to enter into the GCP data engineering, into a cloud data engineering, GCP is very easy to do that compared to the AWS and Azure. Okay, so this is something. Because why I don't tell you Azure and GCP is, right? Some of my students also, maybe here also, some people may be from Azure and AWS already, because this is what happens with AWS and Azure. They are also good cloud platforms. I'm not telling them whether it is AWS or Azure, they are not good. I'm not telling that. They are also very excellent and top 3 leading cloud providers only. But what is the thing is that, for GCP and AWS and Azure and AWS, the market is saturated. Market is saturated. Why? Tell me, guys, when you know about the Azure? Because Azure is there from last 7-8 years, maybe 6 years, let us just say. AWS is there even before that. Maybe let me take 7 years. And GCP maximum that we know that I have 3 years of experience. Getting a 3 years of GCP data engineering experience, a real time GCP 3 years of experience is very critical. I think very rarely people will get it. Okay, very rarely people get with the 3 years, because in India, GCP was known from last 3 years only. In India, maybe in the other states or countries, it may be there in the beginning. But I was working as a GCP data engineer from last. I mean, currently I'm not working specifically on the GCP, but I was working for almost 3 years on the GCP, right? So, getting a person who is having a 3 years of experience on the GCP is very critical, because for people for GCP is 2 years. 2 years. Most of the people, you don't even get 2 years also. Very new cloud platform. Very new cloud platform, but within the very less time, it has grabbed a lot of market. It grabbed a lot of market. So what usually happens, right? So the thing is that you look at in terms of an opportunity space. Opportunities. For example, right? Assume that there is A, person B, person C. Person A, coming from a different background, got to know that Azure is famous, and he attended the Azure course, and he is going for the job. He is going for the job. Now tell me, guys, what is the challenge for him to get the job? What is the challenge? So now that this is a person A, what he done is that today he attended Azure demo session and he go for the job. But tell me, what is the challenge for him? Because the moment he go for the job, Azure is there from last 6 years. People like you, however you are learning today, people are already learning it from last 4 5 years. There's a very huge, someone was already mentioning it, huge competition. Very good answer. I am very happy to see such a kind of an answers. Right? So competition is very high. One of the guy mentioned, because very good competition is a very high competition. Tell me, if you learn some course and compete with the real world people and get job, very difficult. Very difficult for you to do that. You can do that if you are very good expert in all the areas and you can understand, you are some genius. In that case, you can go and you can get job in any area. But the thing is that learning some tool for the first time and getting the job is, when you have a huge competition, is very difficult. Very difficult. So that's the reason these people, similarly for AWS also, the moment you try to learn AWS, even more competition than the AWS. The moment you are going for a interview, right? There's even more competition. The competition is even more, because the people have already started learning it. Like now you are learning today, your BTech is completed, you got to know about the cloud platforms now, but people have already learned about it and they're again doing a job switch. They are doing the job switch. Such a kind of a people, you are going to compete with them, and getting the job becomes very hard, difficult. But for GCP is not like that. This guy got to know about the market and understood the competition, where the competition is very less, and he went for the job. He can able to grab the job easily. So most of the students of mine, actually some of the told is that, sir, I have only one interview only. I even did not have second interview also. This was a case maybe 8 months back, not now, but 8 months back. One of the guy told me, sir, one of the company has a huge demand for the GCP data engineer. I did not have a second round also. They put only one technical round and they gave me the offer letter, HR round and offer letter. So such kind of things happen, because when you have a huge demand for less competition, people will roam around you. So such kind of a thing is GCP, right? So even though the market is less for the GCP, Azure and AWS market is huge. The opportunities are also very good, but likewise, the competition also very high. But GCP is not like that. It is a good market now. So you can compare it. AWS may be around 35 and this is somewhere around 28. Now the market for the GCP is less than 20, somewhere around 20. Okay. See, the market is also increasing like anything, and less competition. Getting the job is very easy. So that's the reason most of the companies actually, try to join the GCP. So someone was asking this question, right, sir? How Azure and GCP and AWS? Don't worry about why we have to worry about whether AWS is offering that one, this one, that one, this one. For us, whether I'm able to get the job or not. This is where I look at it when someone is asking me what is the difference between them. This is a difference for you to understand when you are learning some course, right? So this is something. Okay. Yeah. So whoever you are, I'm just telling you, whoever you are, whether you are coming from some non-IT background, if you have time, at least 1.5 hour day, 1 hour for the attending the live session, 30 minutes for the practice. I'm telling you guys, 30 minutes for the practice is very important. 1 hour for the live session, 30 minutes for the practice. If you have a 1.5 hour to 2 hours every day on a daily basis, I'm telling you, after 3 months, you can easily crack the job. If you just follow my things, if you follow my notes, and if you follow my things, whatever I am telling you, this is where I usually teach it. And if you are understanding my language, I'm sure that you will be able to get the job. Happened already, proved. Many students, people have already, not one offer letter, I'm telling you guys, one of the guy got 6 offer letters. That is the highest offer letters, one of the guy from the course, or 6 offer letters, right? So this has happened already. So whoever you are, only thing is that, do you have you decided it or not? If you decide that I wanted to become a GCP data engineer, if it is 1 month or 2 months, but after 3 months or 4 months, you will for sure will become a GCP data engineer. The only thing is that you should be having a proper documents. You should be having a proper experience documents. Whether you are working in some company, they will give you a proper experience documents. That is something. If you have a gap, some people may be having some gap. If you know how to fill up that gap, the course will give you the job. The course will give you that job. Okay. So end of the day, whether you are experienced or anything, you need to learn some course. So the course will give you the job, but you need to have, if you are experienced, you already have a documents. But if you have a gap, you know how to fill the gap also. Then attend my course and get the job. Okay. So that's the thing that I can tell you. Right. So support engineers, IT testers, mechanical, production backgrounds, pharmacy. One of the B pharmacy goal actually previous batch, like 3 months back, 3 to 4 months back. So B pharmacy girl able to get the job. Why not you? I'm telling you, B pharmacy is not even actually comes under the technical education, right? She's able to get the job. So that's how there's a huge demand for the GCP data engineer. Just have to grab it, guys. You need to be a little bit smart enough, but put an effort and try to get the job. You need to put an effort. You can't just get the job directly. Okay. So now you see in this particular meeting itself, I see almost 20 plus 15 plus here, almost 40, 50, 60, 60 plus people are here. All the 60 members wanted to become a GCP data engineers. So day by day, the market will get saturated. Not now, 60, 70 is not a very big number. So this entire course, almost some people does not know about it. In this particular entire session, we have 60 members, guys. Okay, maybe for you, it is your actual channel is 14 or 15 or 18 or 19, but total here with me in the live session, 60 plus members are there. 60 plus members are there. Okay. So the thing is that after 2 years, market for the GCP will also saturate. By that time, if you are able to get the job and already settled, that's the main aim for me and for you also. Okay. So that is what it is. Now I'm going to give you the time for you to ask the question, and I'm going to note it down here for each and everything. So to make the process simple and easy, please raise your hand. I will call your name. I will ask your question and I'll try to answer the thing also. I'll write it down here also with your name and everything. Okay. Please raise your hand if anyone have any question. I hope so far it was making sense to you. And if you guys have any questions, you can ask me. So I see some of the questions putting in the chat box. Sir, what is alternative tool for DBTR data frame you will be using in this course? Sir, usually if you guys wanted to, store your code, process your code, we can able to use different things. We can use Git versions or any kind of a tool coding. And data frames is something that we are learning in the PySpark. PySpark data frames only we are covering. Okay. Yeah. And yes, So I'll go to the questions in the chat box, guys. I'll ask you the questions once I finish the chat box questions. So I'm new to the, so I'll copy paste the question here. So one of the question is that, sir, I'm new to the data engineering, but coming from different technology. Please let me know if I can still find a career in data engineering. That's what I have told you, man. Okay, Vijay. I have told you so far. I hope you got the answer already, right? So for sure, there is a career for you, and you mark my words and practice or learn towards it. Okay, move towards it. Yes, yes. And the next one is, sir, are the class recording available to download only? Not download, guys. So the class recording on a daily basis you are going to get it, but you cannot be able to download it. Okay, you cannot be able to download it, guys. Recordings are available on a daily basis, but you cannot download it, but you can always watch it every time. Okay, you can watch it every day. Always you can watch it daily basis. You can watch it. Yes. Sir, I have 19 years. Not sure if I am right candidate for this course. You can be. I'm telling you, you can be. You can be an inspiration to my course, right? So tomorrow I can. So far I did mention 14, 15, right? And so Vijay and Guru Deshwar. Next time, last batch, I can tell you that, sir, this guy got the job. I can mention you. You could be an inspiration, right? Yes, of course. Why not? And what is the duration for the course? So the duration for the class recordings, the usually, sir, as I just told you, these recordings, right? So these recordings we mainly put maximum validity from 8 months, actually 6 months only, 6 months to 10 months only we put, right? So we don't put maximum. Okay, because every 6 months I change my course, I change a lot of things. If you ask me, sir, last 6 months and this 6 months the course is same or not, if you ask me, no, might have done a lot of changes. Okay, so that's the reason. So the course content and course topics will always change. So that's the reason we always providing you the class recordings for the 8 to 10 months. After that, these recordings are auto deleted. Okay, so that is what will happen. The duration is 8 to 10 months. Okay, if you are lucky you'll get 1 year also. That totally depends. And class notes will be provided. Just now whatever I have shown you, the class running notes, very important. Most of the people told me and appreciated me for the notes, guys. I'm going to share with you guys. Okay, the notes. Once you guys enroll for the course, you will be having an access to the recordings. Those people you are enrolling to this course, recordings, notes, material, everything, guys. If I have to talk about it again, everything, I would say, whatever I have just told you. And so I'll just go to, if anyone have any questions, you can put it, guys. So that's what, how hard. So the thing is that, sir, how hard or easy to understand for a person who is very new to the cloud and data engineering? Will the course suffix 2 years requirement in real time, and how? So it is not that much hard for you. Okay, because the way I teach, I know, and most of the people already told me the way I teach, right? I make it a very complex topic also in a simple way. Like your friend, I'll try to teach you so that you can able to understand the complex topics also in a simple way with an examples. So if I'm talking something on a theoretical, right? If I'm talking something on a theoretical, and you may not be able to understand it, but I'm going with a lot of examples. So my way of teaching, I think I did not tell you guys, 80 by 20 model. 80 by 20 model, 80% by 20%, nothing but 80% is practicals, nothing but lab sessions, and 20% is theory. So main I focus on the lab, so that the moment you practice something, you learn something. If I tell you everything in a theoretical, for sure no one will understand. So that's the reason this is the module that I follow. Yeah. Yes, hands on, everything. Yes. Okay, so that is something. And so let me see a few more questions. I see, sir, what is the, okay, already seen that. So we have seen the differences also, and this course experience also I have told you guys. And one more question, sir. I am Bhavna, postgraduate, passed out 2019, and I'm being a non-IT person. How hard it will be? I just told you guys, right? So not that much difficult. People have proved it. My friends actually proved it. Very simple example. My brother. Okay, usually I take him an example because this guy, he's my brother actually. He's my brother means my my father's brother's son. Okay, so he's very relative to me, and this guy was working in networking for like 5 years, and his salary was that time 30,000 per month, 30K per month. 6 months back, 6 months back, not now, 6 months back, I asked him to attend my course. He attended the course, and he got the offer, and he is now working. He is now working. He got the offer, and he is now working in Ultimatric, the company I'm telling you again. You can go and check it out. The Ultimatric, I think with all the tax and everything, if you remove, his package is around 93 or 94K. 93K. So this guy was working in networking. He does not know even SQL. He does not know nothing about it. And in the course, we have covering everything, Python and everything. And he was able to learn everything. And after that, he went for the opportunities and he got the job. Currently, he's working with this package. 93K, somewhere around the package is 14 or something. Okay, 14 or something. So that's how the package was. 14 or 15. So that is how. So this is how. So this is what happening, right? So you don't have to worry about it. Sir, will I be able to learn it, or is this course will be helpful for me or not? So don't have to worry about it. Just fix. Just make up your mind. This is the only way. If you think that, you will get it. If you think that I have a multiple ways, not sure, I can't do anything. So if you decide it and come to my course, and you will be able to get the job for sure. Okay. Hi, yes, yes, please. Who is that? Huh. Yes, Nazim, you have any question? Data Yeah, yes. So AI impact, right? So see, the thing is that AI for sure will impact in all the roles, but it is not for that much on the development yet. Okay, it is actually nowadays helping the developers. Now it is like a friend for the AI for all the things, whether it is data engineering or all of those things. Maybe after 10 years, what will happen, I'm not sure. But at present, for data engineers, there is no problem. Data engineer roles, mainly focusing on these data engineers, no issue on the AI front. Okay. Yeah. At present, yes. You can do that. Yes. Sorry? We will do that. So we create auto pipelines, we create our ingestion pipelines, and we those are all the things automation. The workflow orchestration is nothing but automation. Everything, whatever I have told you, almost everything we can automate it. But having said that, everything has to be properly automated with the proper configurations, everything that we will be able to see in our upcoming sessions. Because if I started telling you that itself, it takes 1 hour. Okay, so we will see that in the upcoming sessions. Yes. Sir, yes. So those who are planning for the certificate, sir, can we get details and all of those things for guiding you to get the certification? Yes. So those who are going for a certification, this course is going to be very useful for you. And I'm also providing you the certification terms, which is very useful for you to crack it. All the topics are also covered. Okay, the topics are also covered and help you to how to crack the things also. Okay. Yes. Yes, Harish, right? So Harish, I think he has raised his hand. Harish, or you have any question? Yes, 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 please. See, plenty of opportunities. The moment, guys, once the course is completed for you, you can go ahead and prepare your resume. Go to the Naukri. See, because as a institute level, we are not offering you anything because we help you understand until the resume preparation, interview questions, everything. But once everything is ready for you, you go for Naukri because there are plenty of opportunities. You don't need anyone to refer you or place you, right? So Naukri and LinkedIn, plenty of opportunities are there. You just go ahead and search for it, and then sit for the interview and get the job, right? So this is what it is. All right. So as a placement, you can just focus on the knowledge rather than more focus on the job. Okay. All the concepts, if you're clear, right, can get the job easily. Okay. Yes. Yes, Chandu, you have any question, Chandu?
Yeah. See, what is the difference between this data engineer and the data science?
Data science is whole difference. Okay. Data, you can say a data engineering is a foundation, sir. Data engineering is a foundation. Rest
Okay.
of the things like data analytics, data machine learning, data science, these are all the things people who focus on our data. It is a foundation. Data engineering was there 30 years before, it will be there after 30 years also, because data engineering is always a foundation. Data engineers are the highly paid jobs. People don't believe it, but people say ML data science it, but no, data engineers are the highly paid jobs. No one actually appreciate that. People always go for trending skills like that ML and all, but again, these people also, they work there and they actually come to the data engineering, they work in the data engineering, because data engineering will have a lot of opportunities always. Okay, this is foundation. Once your data is properly clean, people will come up like data analytics, Power BI developer, Tableau developer, ML and DS. These are all the people will come up. Okay.
Okay. So
Yes.
so actually right now I'm working as an automation architect. I'm into testing side.
Okay.
I have like 11 plus years into
Okay. Okay.
automation side.
Okay.
So I wanted to go towards like this GCP data engineering side, and also
Possible.
after completion of this, like okay, we will put like 2.5 years experience maximum, only two.
Not two. For an experience, you can put three also, not a problem.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So and
Yes.
generally, like on and average, like what are all the packages are available? I mean,
There are plenty of, see, it depends on the current package, right? So for those people, see, I can just tell you the thing. For example, if you have a 5 year, someone will be earning, the current package could be 12 or something, right? So you always get a package from the hike from 50% to 80% will always be there. People, we have seen that people proved they can get 200% also, 120%, 150% also, but this is a margin, in an average margin we say.
right.
Okay, average margin we say, but we have seen one of the guy from 12 to 27, he went already. I've seen it, one of the guy from 8 lpa to 19 lpa. So it is totally possible. One of the guy already 24 lpa, 48 lpa, 48 or 49. So something, it was possible. Totally depends on your current package, and you can
Okay.
able to land on it, and how many offers you are bagging it. Yeah.
Okay. And one more thing, like so in especially in a Hyderabad point of view, like are there any good product-based companies which is offering like this data engineering, right?
Yeah, there are plenty of product-based companies also. Recently, we have seen, I forgot this name. Oh, there are plenty of companies. They are hiring actually, MNC companies we see. But when it comes to the product-based company, I have seen this AC company that I forgot, that is Hire or Hawaii, or I don't remember. They actually recruited 120 GCP data engineers recently. 120 GCP data engineers. Even I got shocked. Most of my students pinged me, sir, I got job in that particular company, sir, and this was happened. Some
Oh,
10 to 15 of my students actually called me, sir, I got the job in this one in only 1 2 months, within 2 months. So that's what's happened. So one of that product based company, and such
actually,
that there are plenty of the companies were there.
yeah,
Yeah.
even actually my company is also like they are offering
Huh.
data engineering on GCP only.
Great. See, guys. So one of here Chandu's, his company is also, they're actually recruiting for GCP data engineers.
It's
Very
back,
good to know. Yeah.
yeah, it's
Right.
banking company.
Yes. Great. Great to hear. So many companies started using it. Daikin, yes, one of the, no, not Daikin, not Daikin. I don't, no, not Daikin. That is Hawaii or something. That particular company, I don't remember it. And they actually started the, you know, data, this IT cell in Hyderabad for the first time, and it has been started only somewhere around 8 months or something. So 120 GCP data engineers, 120 plus GCP data engineers they have recruited. I don't know how many projects they are working on. And most of my students actually called me, said, sir, I'm very happy that this is what it is. Some of the people actually calling me to, sir, you have to come to my home, and my mom is I wanted to see you, and all of those things happened actually. So that is such kind of a plenty of opportunities are there, guys. So just wanted to see you also call me and say me that, sir, I got a job. So that's something that I wanted to see from you also. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
So, last question. So, how much
Yes.
coding is required? Because see, I'm completely like working on the coding side, but is there any like coding?
So how much coding is required? One of the people, maybe a lot of people may be having this question. Don't worry about that. Come with a basic knowledge on the SQL and I'll teach you everything. Okay, come basic knowledge on the SQL for the course. I'll teach you everything. Even you don't know that you are learning some programming language. By the end of the session, you will get almost all people will get a medium knowledge on the programming. Medium knowledge. Medium is nothing but in India, no one will be able to get an expert in the programming. Very rarely people get an expert in the program. Everyone use the AI, ChatGPT, and all of those things. But for sure, by the end of this course, as a GCP data engineer, you will be able to code something in a medium level for sure. Okay, that's how I make it. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I think most of the people have asked the question, sir. This question, there is this Basha have this question, sir. One more question: how much package will get for 2 years experience? For can you please suggest? So usually the range for a 2 years, right? It depends. If your current experience is having 2 years and your package is around five, I say 5 to 6 will be there. So let me say six LPA for you. You can go until, you know, for you for 2 years you can go until 11 plus. That's it. You can add, you can go even more also, but on an average you can go for 10 plus, 11 plus. That's something that I can tell you for sure. Okay, if you are bagging one more offer letter, for sure you can go for 13 plus, right? So that's how your package can be increased. It depends on the company, and it depends on your how many number of offers you are getting it, and it depends on the that particular company demand and all of those things. Totally, yes. Okay, yeah. I think I'm able to help you understand most of the questions. I see. And yes, anyone have any other questions, guys? Yes, Nazim. Yeah. Of course, of course. This is very good question. Nazim, question is that which actually one of the previous guy actually asked and he proved me. So not a freelancing, but he actually opted for contract role. He was actually working in some. Sir, what happened is that I'll tell you. This is a very good example. No one actually knows. Even I even got myself shocked at that point of time. He was working in some tester. He was working in tester like having some 3+ years of experience. His name also Ravi, I remember still because he was a very good example for me to help you. So he was a tester. His name is Ravi, having 3 years of experience. He attended the course. He attended the course, but he was actually, you know, couldn't able to, you know, put a resign at his company resign his company from his role and searching for the new job in the GCP data engineer. Even though he attended my course and going for a GCP interviews, if he has to go for interviews, he has to resign in this current company. But he was very afraid of getting the job or all of those things, whether it is easy for me or not. He got afraid. But what he has done, he thought about it. But this guy attended the course and he went for the contract role. Okay, that means you can actually work in two companies. This guy is working as a tester in this particular company, and he was a contract role for almost some 6 to 8 months, I guess. 6 to 8 months only. Let us say 8 months. 8 months of contract on a GCP project. He worked on it. GCP project. How smart he actually do, right? So GCP data project. He worked on it, and then he put a resignation with this entire things. He went for the so he got a very good confidence on the project and everything. Then now he is working in the GCP data engineering somewhere in Infosys or something, right? So that's how. This was his actually story. So you can, so the Nazim, I'm telling you, you can go for freelancing, you can go for contract roles. If you are looking for a full time, you can also go for. So the doors are open for freelancing. I'll tell you. Okay, I'll show you. Plenty of people actually ping me for freelancing. Okay, plenty of the people actually ping me for freelancing. Okay, sir, can anyone actually take up this particular thing? Maybe I can show you. There's a community for us, and sir, you see, sir, I have a doubt this one. Sir, required a job support for this one. You see here, sir, there is a job requirement for this one. So daily 2 hours, weekends. So plenty of the people actually, sir, we need GCP data engineer support. So plenty of the people actually ping me, sir, we are working in US, but we cannot be able to, afford of working on a GCP data engineer. Any freelancer can support me and all of those things. So you can help. You can, as a freelancer, you can earn something. And one more thing, you can actually go for full time. You can also go for contract roles. You can earn a lot in the contract roles. I'm telling you, I worked as a contract roles. You can earn a lot in 1 year. If you are earning some 20 lakhs in a 6 months in a contract role, you can earn that 20 lakhs. So that's how the contract role. So most of the people does not know about it. This guy actually proved it. Ravi, his name. Yeah. So that's how. So you can go for it. Any other questions, guys? Anyone? Okay. So I think it's almost 11:30, and we will try to stop the session here, guys. I think we have covered a lot today, and I'll try to stop the session. Tomorrow we are going to have a second demo session. So tomorrow we are going to have a second demo session. Don't forget, tomorrow we have second demo session. We have second demo session. Don't forget. Okay, don't forget. Very interesting topic that we are going to talk tomorrow. Very interesting topic. Okay, tomorrow is a second demo session, which is again free. You don't have to pay anything to attend this one. Please attend, try to get some knowledge, and don't forget. Okay, so assume that if your friends or your family members are struggling in their area, tell them that there's a one of the GCP data engineering, you can opt for it, and you can change your career to the GCP data engineering. Tell them. Okay, inform them. Okay, yeah. Okay, yes. No. So this is chargeable.
Yeah, when is the actual classes will start?
Tomorrow onwards, the actual sessions are getting started, guys. Tomorrow is our first topic. That is, we are entering into the cloud overview. The actual sessions will be starting from tomorrow. Okay.
Saidhul, I pinged you personally in that one. Can I get your number if you don't mind? I mean,
Uh,
your
no, actually, I cannot share my number like that. Sorry. I cannot share my number like that. Yes. Please connect with an admin. They'll help you to contact me and we can talk together on a conference call. Okay. Okay. I cannot share my number here, guys. Sorry for that. But you can always connect with an admin and they'll help you to do that. Yes. Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you all. Have a great day. And tomorrow is the second demo session, guys. And please try to attend it. And if you guys have any questions also, you can ask me tomorrow as well. Okay. Yep. Thank you all. Have a great day. Bye bye. We will meet tomorrow, guys. Thank you. Thank you all. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our very first demo for the data engineering with Google Cloud Platform. I hope you guys are able to hear me clearly. Can you guys confirm once? Am I audible?
Yes, yes, clearly.
Great, great. Thanks for your positive response. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Thanks for confirming for that. So, today is our very first demo. I hope you guys are excited to understand what is data engineering and what is Google Cloud Platform and what are the topics that we are going to cover throughout the session and how this is going to be useful for you to get the job. everything we are going to understand today. And this session is more of an interactive and live session, guys. At any point of time, if you think that you have a question, you can always raise your hand. We will follow a proper ethic that you raise your hand so that I'll try to give you a time for you to ask the question. Okay, so let us follow that procedure. And I welcome you all for the very first demo today with the data engineering with the Google Cloud Platform, everyone. We all know that there is a plenty of opportunities for the GCP data engineers. Their main aim is to get the opportunity and work comfortably in the company. The main aim of the course is that one only, that we can easily crack the job. We should be able to comfortably work. So for that one, whatever the things that are required for us to learn, we are going to see all the things one by one in today's session. Right? So the very first thing that I wanted to talk about is the agenda. Right? So what is the agenda for today? What we are going to cover, if you guys ask me, as our first demo, I just wanted to tell you what is actually the data engineering. I can directly tell you how this many opportunities, that many opportunities, and I can tell you that this topic is very important and all of those things. But let me very start with the basic. What is data engineering? And why the data engineering is very much important for other roles? And what are the roles and responsibilities of a data engineer? Maybe in 10-15 minutes, we will try to understand what is data engineering. And after that, I will talk about what is Google Cloud Platform and how it is different from the other cloud platforms. All of those things we will try to see. Okay, so we will understand the very first thing, what is data engineering. Then we will understand what is Google Cloud Platform, how the Google Cloud Platform is separate from the other cloud platforms, how it is different from them, and what are the advantages of using the Google Cloud Platform, we will try to understand. Then the most awaited topic, that is the detailed course curriculum. Many people maybe ask me, sir, what are the topics that we are going to cover when it comes to the cloud basics or when it comes to the data engineering? What type of a tools that we are going to cover, we are going to see now. So for that one, a detailed course curriculum, I am going to talk about it. And fourth topic I am going to cover is the course details. Right? Some people may be having some questions, sir. When is the batch getting started? What are the timings for it? And what are the things that you're going to provide it to us? All of those things when it comes to the course highlights, I am going to talk about it here. So we have divided our entire session today into 4 topics. First thing is about what is data engineering. Then we will talk about the Google Cloud Platform. Then we will see the detailed course curriculum. And then we will talk about the course details. So this is what is we are going to cover. And some people may be having some of the questions, right? Right. So for example, sir, one of the question could be, how would I get a job from this course? Right, sir. We are learning this course, how to get a job. I will answer that question. And what about my current experience? Some people may be having their current experience in the mechanical domain, or in a supporting domain, or maybe in some management role, or maybe in a different supporting roles you will be having it, a tester role or supporting role, or maybe in the non-IT sectors. What I have to do for my current experience, and how do I use this particular course to get the job? And some of the people does not know cloud at all. Sir, how can I learn this cloud platform? That I am going to talk about it. Will I be able to do it, sir? I do not have any experience at all into the IT. But sir, can I be able to get the job and work comfortably? Some people may be having that question. I'll talk about that as well. And does it make sense to my profile or not? Some people think that, sir, I may be working in this area. I just wanted to come to a data engineering. Does it make sense to my profile or not? We will talk about that as well, right? We'll talk about that. Yes. Right. We will talk about that. Yes. A factor on the data engineering as well. How we can able to do that. We will talk about that. And many more questions. Whatever you have it, I'm going to give you the time. Don't worry about it. These are the some of the questions that people usually have in their mind. By the end of the session, I'm telling you guys, you are going to understand each and everything. And we are going to help you understand everything in a simple way so that you guys can understand most of the things out of this course. Okay. And if you guys have any personal questions related to your education or maybe your job background or maybe something, right? So I'll give you the time by the end of the session. We will sit and we will try to understand whatever the things that you have, and I'll try to explain it. This, as I told you, that first 30 to 40 minutes of a session, I'm going to talk about the course and details and what is this one, what is that one. And after that, I will give you the time for you to ask the questions. So we will make it more interactive today so that everyone will get something out of the course or something out of the demo session. Okay. So that is what. So to do not wasting our time on this particular thing, before we jump onto our actual thing, right? Before we jump onto our actual what is the actual topic, that is what is data engineering, let me actually introduce myself, guys. Some of people might have known about me, but let me try to tell you guys. My name is Sheikh Saidhul. I am currently working as a SDA at Quantech as a full time. I'm also a consultant at Databricks, right? So full time as well as consultant at Databricks, and I've completed my master's degree from NRT Trichy. So this is top 10 colleges in India, and I do have more than 8 years of experience into the data and AI field. So from the last 8 years, right, I would say 9 years closely in data and AI field, working on different tech stack. Even I have worked on on-premises and clouds, almost all the cloud platforms, AWS, Azure, IBM, GCP, all of these cloud platforms I have worked, and even on the Oracle also. And I have done many certifications in the cloud platforms as well, and in other like Python, Terraform, and other certifications also have done it. So these many certifications, and this is all about me, guys. Just remember me as a Sheikh Saidul. So I am the trainer for GCP data engineering. I have been teaching this GCP data engineering from last 2 years, and earlier I was teaching the Azure. Now mostly I'm currently teaching in the Azure, GCP data engineering only, and this is all about me, guys. Okay, so now let us start with what is data engineering. Tell me, guys, whatever you know about data engineering, what do you think about data engineering? What is data engineering? Tell me. Any answers? Anyone having it? Please. What do you think that what is data engineering? Okay. Streamlining the data. Yes. Any other answers? Perfect. What is data engineering, guys?
Collecting the data from different sources and process it and store it in database.
Correct. Correct. You may be collecting the data, you may be processing the data, someone says analytics, and all of these answers are correct. And let me gonna tell you in a proper way, and we will try to put them in a proper order so that we will it does make sense to all of them, right? So the main agenda is that is, so every company will be having a data, right, sir? Every company will have a data. So for example, the moment you wake up in the morning, we try to order a breakfast, or we wanted to go from one location to another location. So what do? You try to open one application, whether it is Uber or Swiggy or anything. You try to interact with an application, there gets the data generated. So that means you have a data that is coming from some application. You have a data that is coming some file format. You go to some healthcare or a production or anywhere. What do? What they actually do? They store the data in the form of a Excel.